When I asked you guys for 21 Pilot hot takes, I did not expect over 100 of you to submit your hot takes in the Google form, link down in the description box as well in the pinned comment below. And your responses have ranged from hot takes about 21 Pilot songs, albums, theories, and lore. All of those have been made videos already. Check those out on the channel. But a lot of you guys submitted responses that didn't fall into any of those categories, that fall into these small niche categories. Too small to make it its own separate video, but if we combine all of them together, we get this, your miscellaneous 21 Pilot hot takes. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on when you're watching this. How's it going, guys? First off, I hope you're having a good day today. Hope your day's going well, and hope it continues to go well. Welcome back to the 21 Pilot hot take series, where I'm going to be reacting to your 21 Pilot hot takes, reading them out, occasionally giving some snark commentary to add funny ha-has, maybe potentially funny. You might find it annoying. Who knows? And of course, we've done 3 episodes of these so far. Again, check those out on the channel. If you want to submit your 21 Pilot hot take, whether it be about an album, song, theory, miscellaneous stuff like live eras, for things about the fan base, put them down in the Google form down below in the pinned comment as well as in the description. And while you're down there, there will also be a link to the Trees Project, which is a fundraiser for Tyler Joseph's birthday, which is coming up on December 1st. And this fundraiser is raising money for the American Suicide Prevention Foundation, which all the money is being raised and all the money will be donated to this foundation in Tyler's name. So if you can spare a buck or two, please donate to this wonderful cause. That means so much for the 21 Pilot community as well as the click. If you can't, by all means, don't feel obligated, but definitely do share the link around. But with that being said, here are your miscellaneous 21 Pilot hot takes. They deserve the Super Bowl halftime show more than anyone for all they did to bring live music and events back with a level of concern campaign. I don't think that's what brought live music and events back. I mean, level of concern thing, really cool. They did get a world record out of it, but that's not what brought back, and that's a pretty bold claim to say that brought back live music and events. I think what got brought back is like we grew smarter as humans and got more informed in the face of COVID. But I would love to see 21 Pilots perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. Are they at the first on my list? No, because I think the Foo Fighters slightly deserve it more, as well as people who influenced 21 Pilots such as Billy Joel and Elton John. I think those would be really cool performances as well. And ultimately, I would love to see Metallica perform Super Bowl halftime show, but that's not going to happen because they don't like metal people. They could and should do a tour where the entire concept and set list is to be more like the campfire session / unplugged. Maybe even in seated venues only, like a super classy tour. From what I've seen, like people reacting to the campfire set list over the past 1.5 years, I think you're definitely in the minority on that one, so really good hot take on that. But I also feel like they would lose a lot of money if they did only seated venues only, and the only way to compensate that is to make merch and tickets super expensive. Not related to any particular song or album, but my hot take is that the band doesn't save lives, but rather opens eyes. I can understand the feeling of being empowered by the band and feeling saved, but people should give themselves some credit, I feel. The music is something to kickstart eternal change and questioning. The band doesn't make the bad feelings and thoughts go away. You do. The empowering words of encouragement and relatable nature opens a lot of people's eyes to recovery being possible. We may feel like outcasts or we don't belong, but with the click, we are welcomed. TLP are better live as a two-piece than with a full band. They peaked in the Trench era live shows. I went to the Icy and Takeover tour, but nothing seemed to create an overall atmosphere and emotional pull like the Bandito tour managed to. The arena was alive, the lighting was perfect, the sound was larger than life. Hearing the melancholy of Bandito with the moving lights overhead took my breath away. It was just a different world in Trench. While the Icy tour was certainly fun, it felt more like a concert and less like an immersive journey. Tyler did not look good in those space buns. TLP needs to do a Death Cab for Cutie cover because they are big fans, and IDK How and TLP need to collaborate. A mega band awesomeness musical fusion. I just want TLP to make music and not focus on lore anymore. Dude, sometimes same. This one definitely hits hard, especially in the seasons of 21 Pilots doing nothing and trying to find something out of nothing. So definitely relatable. Psy era is actually great. The music isn't the best, but everything else makes up for it. I went to see the boys in Dallas, and it was the best night of my life. The Icy Tour was so amazing. Also, the lore for this era is so freaking good. Good Day Dima, the mind control antler thing, the reunion of Josh and Tyler in the Outside music video, fan interaction was also awesome. The live stream experience, the Roblox concert, the cinematic experience. Yeah, it's all propaganda, but you gotta admit, it was fun. But in 2011, I didn't think this era was going to be great at all, but it played out so unexpectedly and wonderfully. The only thing that would have made it better is that if Tyler and Josh did the handshake in the Outside like they did in Stressed Out and Nico and the Niners. I think this is a hot take. So many people bash on this era. The new backing band was cool, and they're great musicians, but they're not 21 Pilots. TOP is Josh and Tyler, and that's the way it should be. The backing band took the live sound to a new level, and that was cool, but it wasn't needed. Because of them, the live shows weren't as energetic. Tyler also played bass way less, and that kinda sucks. The Bandito tour is still one of their best tours to date because of the energy and such. It was such a bigger production, and the two of them on stage is something insanely special. So I'm going to add my 2 cents into the backing band, into the side band stuff, which we've seen hot takes before this. We're going to see hot takes after this. And I'm going to put my feelings aside of me really wanting to be a member of the side band, taking that away for a moment. But I feel the complete opposite of this. Like, from the 2 shows I went to in the Psy era and the 2 shows I went to in the Bandito tour, I honestly felt like the energy level was better at the Psy era shows. And I felt like the Psy band added so much to the mix and so much to the sound. They're all great having there. And sure, Tyler played bass less, but that's not Tyler's primary instrument in the first place. Tyler's primary instrument is piano and keys, which I feel like he did more so in this era. I could be wrong on that, but I would rather see Tyler be on his main rather than a secondary. I mean, sure, would you say ukulele is a secondary or bass? But still, Tyler, he played ukulele less. Like, sure, he played ukulele like the campfire such, but like, if you think about like Lane Boy, he didn't play ukulele during that. That was my favorite Tyler ukulele part. But I like them, and no one is saying that they are 21 Pilots. 21 Pilots is still Tyler and Josh, and they aren't like confirmed members as in they will be on this next album. It's just the backing bands, like as per when Justin Timberlake or someone tours and they have their backing band. They're not officially part of the band, they're just backing. Personally, I don't think TOP has gotten more generic at all. I see a lot of people claiming that due to their rise in popularity after Blurryface, they started producing more generic, poppy music that has a fake feel to it. I completely disagree with this. Their music has changed since, say, Self-Titled, but I think that's in a good way. The music then was very raw, emotional, and personal to everyone, and Tyler specifically. He wrote about his demons, his Blurryface, even if he didn't have a name for it yet. Then his song started saying not I will fight my battles, but I will help you fight yours. Now he tells an amazing story about Dima and Trench, and I don't think their music has gotten any worse. I think it's gotten different. And honestly, that's what I love about them. No matter what genre they are, they always keep you invested in love with every track, and it's beautiful. To paraphrase one Jacksepticeye clip, the only reason that people miss the Trench era is because they miss how they felt at the time because they were younger, but now the Trench stans are grown up. They are stressed out. They have responsibilities. They may just now be entering college or graduating. They think TOP has changed with the Psy era, but they aren't willing to admit that they, themselves, are the ones that changed. If 21 Pilots wasn't so made fun of when they got popular, they could have been big in the psychedelic community. So much of their visuals are trippy, and dang, the music too, sometimes from DMA org updates. Dude, no, I actually feel this, because like, a lot of their visuals are trippy, and like songs like Cut My Lip definitely do fit the community of that. And like, it would be a fun collab, I want to say. I don't know. Like, I'm also coming at this from a Fish and Grateful Dead standpoint of, like, I think it would be cool, but I don't know. Tyler is secretly an NBA player, but he wears a mask so no one knows. Yeah, now we're going to start to get to the joke ones. Sideband is not good. Duo was better. But the album They Were a Trio was great, though. TOP is emo music for normies. Now, I know the person who put this down. We were in the middle of a texting conversation. They dropped that and I had to ask what the heck they meant by it because I was immediately confused. And what they explained to me is that they view this as the music of people who wanted to be edgy and not listen to pop music. They wanted to be different from their pop-loving friends, but they wanted to be a bit edgy. But they did not want to associate themselves with the scene kids, the people who listen to Asking Alexandria, Pierce the Veil, Of Mice and Men, Falling in Reverse, Bring Me the Horizon, All Time Low, so on and so forth. They didn't want to be associated with the people who wore all black, dyed their hair, wore a whole bunch of wristbands, the people who many people would consider outcasts. They did not want to be associated with them, but they wanted a more mainstream version of emo music, so they would go to 21 Pilots, they would go to MCR or Paramore or something along those lines, and that's what they explained to me. And it's kind of like making the emo music mainstream, almost like how, this is going to be a completely different example, but how yours truly kind of got made fun of in middle school and high school for wearing a Metallica shirt, but now suddenly it's really cool for wearing a Metallica shirt because it's on Stranger Things. I've never watched an episode of Stranger Things, but like seeing people who used to make fun of me for that wearing a Metallica shirt does kind of make me upset. But that's what my friend said. That was my own analogy. I don't know if those two fit together, but there we are. Most of the hot take responses are people just trying to get into the video by being controversial. Oh wait, no. So I don't know if this one is an insult towards you guys who left hot takes or an insult to this video concept saying, oh, you're just trying to get people to be controversial. I honestly don't know, the wording's kind of confusing, but what I find hilarious is that I can see when all these hot takes were submitted and the timestamps on them, and this one was submitted before the first hot take video came out, if not, the first hot take video was out, which was only the songs one. So like the biggest hot take could have been that, hey, your favorite song sucks. And you could have waited one more week to say, well, people are just trying to be controversial by saying Trench sucks, because there were people saying Trench was their least favorite album. But you could have waited a bit before you put this one in. Like, I don't know if it's an insult or not, but there you are. And there are over 100 hot takes. I screenshotted every single one of these, and everything is making it into the videos. We'll start filtering out the obvious troll ones next week. Breakfast is overrated. See, we're gonna start filtering out these ones next week. Blurryface is the best in tour numbers. Change my mind. Well, it's kind of hard to, considering the fact that for the Blurryface tour, they had the Blurryface World Tour, the Emotional Roadshow, Tour de Columbus, which if you round those up together, I'm pretty sure off the top of my head is over 200 shows. And for the Bandito tour, it is close to, I think, less than 100. So Blurryface, in terms of tour numbers, of like how many dates they did, is good. However, tour numbers is a very subjective term, because are you talking about audience attendance, financial gain, how well it was received? Because, I mean, people will say, no, Bandito tour, in which I can see there's a huge argument for Bandito tour, because they were doing like more bigger places. Like when they came to Pittsburgh, they were at stage AE for both times they did Blurryface, but for Bandito, they did PPG Paints, which is a way bigger stage for them, where it's like, that's where a hockey team plays. So it's a way bigger stage for them. So it's kind of, in my head, it's hard to go around, because we'd have to figure out, did the show sell out? Did the stadium seats versus these kind of seats? So it's out in the air, but there's potential. You could be wrong, you could be right. I just can't prove it. Tyler long hair is better with Tyler pink hair. Keep in mind, looks don't matter and don't change anything. Have a good day. Hi. Bonjour. Clancy is hotter than the heavy, dirty soul car? Just joking, just joking. Okay. In terms of the Icy Tour, I think No Chances was the best executed live song. It was one I enjoyed watching the most, dude. It brought the energy so well, and including on the Takeover tour. Like, the energy there was insane. Also for the Icy Tour, like, you got the bubbles from the ceiling, like the fake snow. That was all fun. This is perhaps one of my hottest takes yet. I can't wait for the Dima storyline to end so we can get something new and fresh. I actually kind of feel the same, because like I can't wait to see Tyler and Josh write music when they can just do whatever they want, go off the rails, not having to worry about sticking in the confines of a Dima storyline, not having to worry about causing any plot holes. And finally, the fan base can be quite toxic, and I'm embarrassed by this as a huge fan. Definitely relate to this at times, but I feel as though this is an issue with every single community of music. The worst part about an artist is their fan base, because tribalism, toxicity, and a lot of pettiness. And like, of course, like 21 Pilots community has that. The Taylor Swift community has that. The BTS community has that. The metal community certainly has it. Like, oh my gosh, the metal community is super toxic. Like, it's super gatekeepy at times too. But I feel like sometimes like the toxicity for some people kind of deserved, especially when they are a creep and not a good person whatsoever, and like, you know, but like every community can be toxic, and it's one of the things. Like, I love the artist, don't like the fan base. I know a lot of people in a lot of other different music communities that feel the same way about the community that they are in. Anyway, guys, that was all of your 21 Pilot hot takes. Just going to refresh this page one more time, seeing if anything else comes in at the very bottom. And indeed, nothing has. So that'll be the end of today's episode. If you want to submit your own 21 Pilot hot take, whether it be something about them live, something about Tyler or Josh, or about any 21 Pilot era, tour, whatsoever, leave it down in the hot take thing. Next week, we're going to be revisiting the song Hot Takes Part 2. So if you have a hot take about a particular 21 Pilot song, what's your favorite? What's your least favorite? What is the most overrated, underrated? Leave it in the hot take form below, including if it's about an album that you think overrated, underrated, or any hot take with 21 Pilot albums and or theories and lore stuff, because people seem to like the hot take series, and I'll keep doing it until we run out of hot takes. So I'll catch you all next week with more TOP hot takes. Do that form down below. But anyway, guys, I'll see you all then. Goodbye, and good night. More importantly, have a good day, and I'll see you all later. By later, I mean tomorrow, with a theory video. Woo! I'll see you all then.